and welcome back to another video. I'm joined today with a special guest, which is Jon-Scott Clark.
Hey guys, how you doing? Nice to be here.
Would you just like to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Hey guys, my name's Jon-Scott Clark, and I have done quite a lot of musical theatre in the West End on tour. I've done a few musical films too. I'm currently filming one at the moment, which I'm not allowed to talk about, so don't ask me that question. And yeah, hello. I'm excited to answer your questions.
Great. So I asked my Instagram followers just to give you a few questions. So let's get started. So the first one is, what has been your favourite film that you have starred in?
Favorite film I've been in, I would say, was Mary Poppins Returns, because being one of the Learys in the sequel of Mary Poppins was a dream come true. Because the first film had such an impact on me as a kid, that being part of the sequel was just mind blowing. So I'd say it's Mary Poppins Returns being one of the Learys.
Great. I absolutely love that film.
It's got. I'm sitting on my chair. Our gift on set, but it's we only got this after we wrapped, so this would have been nice in the wing, like in the wings, offset. But no, we only got this once we wrapped. So there would have been 30 of these chairs laid about.
Yeah, it's a great keepsake.
It is. It's our piano stall at the moment.
So quite a few people will know that you was a swing in the original cast of Hamilton, which is kind of ironic, seeming as Lin-Manuel Miranda was in Mary Poppins Returns.
Yes.
So what was the best role you covered and played in Hamilton?
Well, my favourite to play and cover was James Reynolds, because it was the track's called Man 5, who Waylon Jacobs played, and then he becomes James Reynolds in his bits, and he's also the Doctor as well, so you also get something else to get your teeth into. It wasn't as hard. It was still a dance track, but not as hard as Man 1 to 4, which includes Samuel Seabury, Charles Lee, and Georgica, and Johnny Bishop with the gun flip. But you still got featured moments, and you got great moments too as Man 5. It was a higher sing, so that was always a challenge. But I'd say getting to be James Reynolds and still being on stage as much as he was, but with not as much dancing, but enough to sort of get your own moments, for me was why I enjoyed that track the most. And it was the one I was on for the most as well. I think I did him for out of 2 months. I think I did like most of the 2 months at one point of that track, because Waylon was always on for Burr or someone else who was on holiday, and I was sort of like, I'll do it. I'll be Man 5. I'll go on. So yeah, I'd say definitely James Reynolds is my favourite to cover for sure.
Great. So people will know that you was a part of the stage production and the film for Cats.
Yes.
So how different is the Cats movie to the stage production?
Extremely different. I was only involved in the Cats movie for 5 weeks. I sort of filled in at the end. Andy Blankabula gave me he emailed me, which was strange. I got a text from his assistant saying, Andy wants to email you. I was like, okay, the choreographer of Hamilton, of course. And he was choreographing the Cats movie, and he said, are you available? I was like, yeah, cool, I'm available, let's go. This was on a Friday, I started on a Monday. So I was only involved mainly for the ball of that, so I can't really compare that to the film, to the stage show, because I was Bill Bailey in the stage show, or Tumble Brutus, some people know him as. So it's a different beast, because it was completely a different choreography. We moved completely differently to how we would in the stage show. Like, I enjoyed the film more purely because I liked the style of it a little bit more. It was more modern. But how iconic is the stage show, you know? Look, everyone, it's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it, right?
Yeah.
And personally, I'm not a lover of the show or the film, but to as a performer and as a dancer, it's always a show you want to tick off your bucket list. So for me, just to be able to do that show, I'd had my second knee operation 8 months before I started rehearsals. And I thought that show was beyond me. So to be able to go and tumble every night for 5 or 6 months was, for me, an achievement in itself. And I think that's why I've got such respect for the show. But I would say the film for me was better to do.
Yeah, like Cats is one of Andrew Lloyd Webber's most well-known musicals, and it's like you said, you either love it or you hate it. Personally, I'm not a massive lover of Cats. But yeah, it's kind of like that thing, you either love it or you hate it.
100%. It, when I got the film, I was like, I wasn't taking it because it was Cats. I was taking it because it was a job. So, and the fact that it was just it fell in my lap as well was just a bonus. I wasn't doing anything, so I was like, yeah, please, let's get paid. And we literally the day I got the text and the email, we were just going for our food tasting at our wedding venue. So when I found out I got that, I was like, yeah, well, we'll get the starters as well, we splash out. Needed that money.
So another one of your theatre credits is Shrek. So when you was in Shrek, did you cover any of the principal roles, or was you just playing Peter Pan?
I was just playing Peter Pan, but in the second, it's not a great story for me really. But in the second contract, I wanted to be seen for a Farquaad cover. He's more of a baritone. I'm a baritone, character part. But they wouldn't, because there wasn't a cover available. So they were like, "Oh, we can see you for Pinocchio." I was like, "I haven't got the voice. I can't sing falsetto. I haven't got it." But they kept pushing. They were like, and I got to the audition for it, and I could get the notes, but not the notes with the words. So I was still quite a young performer at the time as well. So my voice was still developing, and they were like, "We can work on that. We can work on you to do that." So they gave me second cover Pinocchio. I never went on. So, and thankfully, I never went on because they would not have wanted me to go on, because I could do the scenes, I could do the acting, I could do the dance, I could do everything. Just couldn't sing his high notes. So, and he doesn't have that many, and I just couldn't sing them. So I would say no, I didn't cover any, but yes, I did. Technically, I put the costume on, I made the nose grow, I did a dress run. That's about
it. So another question that I've got for you is, what was it like being in Hamilton and then working with Lin-Manuel Miranda in Mary Poppins Returns?
So I worked with Lin before Hamilton. So we rehearsed. When I met Lin, I hadn't even auditioned for Hamilton yet. So we met before the Christmas. When we were rehearsing, it was November to December. I can't remember what year because they all merged into one. It feels like 2 weeks ago, so I have no idea what year it was. And we rehearsed, and he was a really lovely guy, like really down to earth, like Emily Blunt as well. What a dream! Just such lovely people. And then after Christmas, we had some time off filming and rehearsing, because we didn't start again until February. And during January, I got called in to audition for Hamilton. Went through the whole process of going through Hamilton. Ended up getting it. When we went back in February to do some more rehearsals and start shooting, Lin knew that two of us had been offered Hamilton, but it wasn't coincidentally because we knew him. He wasn't in the audition process. He wasn't there at all. He was just like, "Oh my God, you're going to be doing our show." So I was like, "Well, yeah, you're a colleague now. Then you're going to be my boss." Like, it was such a weird thing. But when he came in, when we started Hamilton rehearsals, and not rehearsals, Lin didn't come over until we were teching the show. So he came straight up to me and Johnny Bishop, who did Hamilton and Mary Poppins Returns, and just was like, "Hey, Jon-Scott, Johnny, how you doing?" Like, so lovely. His little boy was there, who we met on set as well. It was just, and his wife. It was just so nice. But I'd actually met Lin before I started Mary Poppins Returns, like 2 months before in Salzburg when I was doing West Side Story. he came out to watch this West Side Story production in Salzburg at the Festspiel in Austria, because he knew Karen Olivo, who she did Hamilton and In the Heights, and she'd done West Side Story on Broadway. She was doing West Side Story with us. He came over to see her and brought all of his family because he's got Austrian. His wife's part Austrian or something like that. He brought 21 people to come see the show, and I met him then, not knowing that my next job would be working for him, and then my job after that, working with him, and my next job after that, I'd be working for him. It was weird, but he's just a lovely, humble bloke, really nice guy, and so intelligent. Like his brain, he comes up with an idea, and you go, "How? How did you just come up with that?" He's a genius, an absolute genius.
Yeah, absolutely crazy times.
Yeah, mental time. It's just, yeah.
So the next question is one that I'm asking everyone, and that is, what is your opinion on stunt casting?
On what? Sorry.
Stunt casting. What's
that? I don't have that.
It's basically where a show brings in a celebrity to sell tickets.
I see. I've never heard that phrase. You know, it is a tricky one because I know so many celebrities that are trained and that can do a good job. Like I'm friends with Danny Mac, who was in Wicked. He before he did Hollyoaks. I don't know he's done Strictly and things like that. But when he does shows, he's still a performer. So yeah, okay, he's got a bit of a name now, and he will sell seats. But he's still a musical theatre performer, and he's very talented. So in people like that, it's different, right? And I guess it depends what realm it comes from. Like when Freddie Flintoff did a West End show, beyond me, love him on League of Their Own, but hey, hands up if he does a good job, you know, hands up. I didn't see him, so I don't know, but it comes down to if they can do it, you know, if they can do it, what's the problem? But at the same time, it's I've known friends and actually family members do shows where low like profit share productions with a named celebrity who is not an actress or actor in the slightest, and they're not doing it for profit share. You know, yet my friend was just it was actually my sister. She's not even getting travel. You know, and you go, it's just not. It's not on, you know. If you're going to do it equally.
Yeah.
You know, earn your craft in that way. If you're going to go do a profit share, get profit, get a share of the profits, like everyone else. You know, it's it's tricky because so basically, if they're good at their job, then hey, it's fine. You know, Panto's a completely different beast, but like in a West End show or anything like that, if they're good at their job, that's cool. And if they're trained in that and then made a name elsewhere, it doesn't bother me. Like Amber from Love Island, she went to Erdang. My wife knows her, so you know, getting 9 to 5, she's trained in musical theatre. I have no problem with that. You know, so it's a tricky one. It depends on if they're really good. You know. So, but I know, like, some people can get a part, audition and rehearse really well, and then sometimes just not live up to the expectation. I did it myself with Shrek, with Pinocchio. Apparently, I auditioned really well. I definitely didn't, but you know, I didn't live up to the expectation of playing the part, so I never did.
So the next question is, what was it like directing The Wind in the Willows?
Oh, it was great fun. My best mate Oliver Scott had an idea the year before. He directed A Night at the Bard, where I played Macbeth. It was just an amalgamation of Shakespeare plays put together, and we did it. My friend's got a pub where he's got a garden that leads onto a river in my local town, and we wanted to bring some live theatre, open air theatre to our local town. So it was low profit, and he had such great success. He's like, well, we should do one next year. And I was like, look, I want to direct it. We're on the river. It's perfect for Wind in the Willows. So we got hold of a script. I made some edits to a script. Tried to do it with a small company So usually it's got 21 different characters, and we did it with 5 people, everyone multi-rolling. Like my wife actually, she auditioned for it, she was my girlfriend at the time, and she was like, "Look, I know you're looking for a queen rat, queen weasel, and it's usually king rat." And she was like, "I want to audition for it. I've done a self-tape." She sent me I was in the next room. She sent me a self-tape, and I was like, I watched it. I was like, "You've got the job." Like, she auditioned. There was because she was my wife, and it just to be able to do that. I was in it too, it's a few different parts, and just to direct something that I never have done before, created it from a script, took it apart, put it out on stage, made it all work. It was just magic. I loved it. It gave me the fuel to go, right. I would love to do more directing. I'd love to do more things like that.
Yeah.
If and when I can, like, it's not timed out for us to do something else since, but we are looking at doing some stuff more in the future. But it was just great fun, and I ended up paying my actors more than you would at the Union in London. So I didn't pay them much, but I said, "Look, I'm going to give you 150 quid for the week, and I'll pay your travel for the 4 rehearsals on the Sundays that we have, and we put you up." And the Union, I know, don't pay that much for a 3-month run, and we did 5 days. So I was like, "Look, I'm all about sharing the wealth," and we managed to put more money into our company as well to hopefully next time do a bigger production and pay people more.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, but to direct and to create and just see something come to life is just, and then when you get an audience and hear people laugh, you go, "Oh, that is funny." No, it's not just me finding it funny, because that's just you laughing at your own jokes. But it's like, "Oh, that lands, that really works." And so I had friends that were playing parts for me as well, and people I didn't know. So it was getting to know different people and letting their ideas come on board as well, and workshopping a lot of things was really nice to do. And I sourced a lot of the props myself. My mum helped with costumes. It was really hands-on. I was like, right, I want this simple, like, character changes was just a simple jacket or a hat, or just puppets. We had puppets. It was good fun. It was just really good fun.
Great. So the next question is, what was the best part of being in Miss Saigon?
Just bringing that beautiful show to life. I mean, what a production! It was just what a story! Just an amazing piece of theatre. But one, again, to work with the creatives and to work with some of the talent, like Kwang Ho, who was our Tui. My God, the guy couldn't speak English at all. He had a Korean translator with him. All he could say for the first month, I think, was "Hello, how are you? Yes, good." Had real deep voice. Could not speak a word of English. And then we heard him sing, and it was like, you can speak English, and he learnt it phonetically. So, but he couldn't. So you just understood the talent that this guy had. So to work with people like that, and then Eva as well, was just, you just go, these people are so incredible that we've got something really special here, and hopefully we do it justice. And then to be at the Prince Edward as well was such a nice theatre to be in. It was just a great show to be a part of. As a GI, we don't do a lot in it, but as we had such good camaraderie and such banter, like, so even when we spent a lot of time off stage, we still enjoyed our time, because some of that dead time can be quite hard work in shows. But in that, it was, we had such a good laugh, it was good crack, and and I was an acro swing as well, so I got to, like, only one track did I get to cover, like, some of the acrobats, and that was always good because it just mixed things up every now and then. I'd do my own track, and then they go, "Oh, for this one, Morning of the Dragon, you're doing the acro track, so here you go." So I was like, cool. So you got to mix up my show a little bit, which was nice.
Have you ever watched a Pro Shot Back?
Watched the what? Sorry.
The Pro Shot Back, the filmed. I don't know if it was filmed in the West End or Broadway, but there is a Pro Shot of Miss Saigon.
Is it the 25th anniversary one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in that because of my of the EPK footage. So the electrical like promo footage they used for the stage show. They took that and put some of that in the film. So I'm in that. But actually, the live performance, I was in the audience, crying my eyes out because I was just about to go in for a knee operation, and I couldn't be on the stage with them doing it, so I didn't get to be a part of the 25th anniversary, but I was still in the company and I was still in the film because of the EBK footage, but also like the behind the scenes footage. You can see me in there. I've got a couple of snapshots on my phone from people have sent me and said, oh, there you are. So, and Bob Avon sadly passed away recently. He was the choreographer, and so to be able to work with someone like him as well as choreographer of Chorus Line, of course, was just amazing.
Yeah, fun fact about the 25th anniversary film, that was actually filmed on my birthday.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that was actually filmed on my birthday, and literally I love Miss Saigon so much, so I just literally just keep watching it back.
Yeah, I had a lot of love for that show. Like, I very rarely do I go back to a show to watch. But the very last night I took my mum to watch. I think they offered me. I said, "Oh, can I get a couple of tickets?" But obviously pay for them. And the company gave me a couple of tickets. I said, "I'm going to bring my mum to watch the last show." So it was. Yeah, I really did have a good time on that show.
So the next question is: do you prefer working in theatre or in film?
I love working. I love working in theatre, obviously. But right now, where I am at my life, film is where I want to be and what I want to do. So I would say it's got to be film at the moment. I'm doing a film at the moment, not allowed to mention what it is just now, but they're always shorter periods. Like with a stage show, it's always a year and a bit. If you're lucky enough that it doesn't close before then, which we're always hit with that chance now. It's always a year and a bit of your life that you are investing into the show. Whereas a film, it can be 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year, but most of the time it's 3 months or 6 months, and then you're off to do the next thing. And I love to keep myself busy and keep doing different things and keep creating different things and being part of different shows. And you can do that more often if your contracts are shorter, right? And also the money's a lot better for film. But the jobs are fewer and far between. So it's a strange one. So obviously not at the moment, there aren't any theatre jobs. So I'm very, very lucky to be to have a job right now. I mean, we started it this time last year, but it got postponed because of COVID. So we are now back up and running, COVID friendly, and as of Monday, we really do start to crack on with it as well. So I think I'm there for the next 8 weeks, but it's going to be intense. So an intense 8 weeks.
So the next question is: if all the characters you have played met in person, what do you think would happen?
Say that again. If all
the roles you have played met in person, what do you think would happen?
Right, I see what you mean. God, that's a weird one. That would be a dinner party I'd like to be a fly on the wall at. That I mean, Peter Pan meeting Action from West Side Story. That's a mix because he's a live wire and he will punch anyone. And I'm pretty sure Peter Pan might get on his nerves. Yeah, that's that. Oh God, that's such a strange. I've never even thought about that. Never even thought that something like that would come about. It'd be a very weird meeting. Let's just say that. I would like to think they'd all get on, but I just yeah. Well, I think I've done a few characters in films and stuff, and I always sort of like short films and indie films and stuff like that, and some of my characters always seem to die. So I don't know if they're coming back to this party like post or pre-death. I don't know. So it depends like which state they're coming back at. There's not been many like short feature films or indie feature films that I've done that I haven't died. So and some of them are really messed up as well. So it will be it'll be like the worst family Christmas dinner you've ever been to. I think. But I definitely would like to watch it if it was in a Big Brother household scenario. I couldn't tell you what would happen because there's such a variety of people. But it would be, yeah. I don't. That's a great question, and I don't know how to answer it. other than let's make it happen. No, I can't, obviously. But yeah, it would be an entertaining watch. We'll leave it there.
So what is the favourite role that you have played?
I loved playing action in West Side Story. I just mentioned it because for a number of things, I got to meet some great people at this during this production. It wasn't your original version of West Side Story. We did all new choreography. It was a whole new concept of telling the story. It was kind of like we were at an opera festival doing a musical with two opera singers in it. One opera singer was playing Tony, and one was playing Maria, but older Maria. So we were sort of telling the story as Maria was looking back at her life. But it was Cecilia Bartioli, who's like the female Pavarotti. She's massive. She was singing all the Maria stuff while we had our Maria had done Maria on Broadway, was just acting the scene as like flashbacks. We were all sort of like flashbacks, and I got to sing the most horrendous sounding song of Officer Krupke in front of an audience of opera fans, and their ears were ringing. I saw one woman I was going, Dee! She literally went, oh God, no, because she's used to those beautiful sounds. And then we had Dudamel, who was our conductor, just with the most incredible Venezuelan orchestra. If you've seen the gym number, the name slips my head, but you know, if you see it if you YouTube it and look for like orchestration of that, and you see them throwing their trumpets in the air and stuff like that, it's quite a famous clip. That was them. So we had them as our orchestra as well. It was just insane. And like I was playing with Karen Olivo, who was a Tony Award winner for playing Anita. She was our Anita in it. Albernardo was George Akram, was one of my great friends now, because of that. And I got to play Action. Action is just such a great character because he becomes the leader of the Jets, and so everyone starts to look to him, and he's a psycho, and he's a nutter. It's far from who I am every day. So it was like really nice to sort of go into work, become someone else, go home as me. You know, it was real nice to get my teeth into that. So, and also, our stage right entrance was the Von Trapp's family's real exit. So, which was like their escape. The Von Trapp family's real escape was our stage right entrance, and it was just like this. The history was made here. You know, it was incredible. Just loved it.
So the next question is, what was the experience like being a part of the original London cast of Hamilton?
Insane, absolutely insane. Because the information you have to take on, it was just overwhelming. And let's just say, as a swing, there wasn't a week where I don't think any of us didn't cry in rehearsals. I'm not a crier. I cried a lot on that show. just thinking it would never go in, it would never happen. We got there, I did it, you know. Okay, not perfectly, but you know, I'm only human. We all make mistakes, but we got there, we got through it, we did it. But it was just, I've done a lot of musical theatre, and that show just had a different story to tell, a different meaning, and had such a following in a way that I'd never experienced before, because it touched a lot of people in different ways. So it's just insane. Like, I've got so many little like stagey pops. You did all little things. I've got like so many little mementos from shows, and like this is me just as an ensemble member. It's so cool. And so, like, the people supporting the show were just phenomenal, and it was just so great to be part of the magic, be part of the craziness, and also to work with Lynn, to work with Alex and Tommy, the directors and composers. You're just and Andy, of course. You're just like, these four guys are insane. And then you got Steph, who was Andy's assistant. She did everything. You know, sometimes she had to keep Andy from overdoing it. And he's the choreographer. You know, she was literally just an absolute machine. And to work with those people was so inspiring. And just to see the impact it had on audiences and the feedback you got from people was just immense. Yeah, just crazy. So I was very lucky to be a part of that.
So what was your favourite memory from being on Hamilton?
It's a tricky one, because there's so many. I think I don't know, just being a part of it and maybe seeing it for the first time with an audience, because I've seen it. I saw before an audience, I saw hundreds of times during tech and rehearsals. As a swing, I'm already in the audience watching, writing stuff down. I think going on for your first time is always a good memory. But I think my last show I did was Samuel Seabury, which I'd done quite a few times, and just like the response from the company afterwards, you know, it was just such a nice feeling. Like, and like, I'm not an emotional person, really. Like, I'm a softie, but you know, I don't, when I'm at work, and it really did. Like, it was probably more of a relief than anything that I'd done it, because it's such a hard show that I did tear up at my last one when we were singing our final song and taking our final bow. It was just, well, my final bow. Yeah, I did sort of tear up, and I did say goodbye to that show at that night. So yeah, it was. Yeah, they did offer me that my last night was actually the next day, and they did say, "Oh, you can go on for this track if you want." And it's a track I didn't know that well. I'd only done it a few times. And I was like, "Look, I'm left on a high. I said goodbye yesterday. It's not my turn to go on, so I was in my right to say no." I said no. I had packed up my stuff and I left that day. The next day, it was crazy, but my favorite memory was probably my last show. Just saying goodbye to such an incredible piece.
So the next question is, do you have any behind the scenes stories that you can share or want to share?
Well, I can share it. Whether I want to share it, I don't know. Yeah, we were on Mary Poppins Returns, and we were meant to finish on the Friday. But we got called in on Saturday, and I wasn't very well on the Saturday in between shoots. And it was a day where it wasn't like we were running the numbers that we knew. They were like, right, can you come down here, do this bit of choreography here. It was full out with feeling. I wasn't feeling great. And we had to do a thing where everyone was dancing around the fountain, and then a couple of us were around the front at the lampposts. And it was like, step, tilt, step, turn, double roulette, step, catch, back, quite full out. And I wasn't feeling too sharp. And on set, they always go, okay, cut, reset. And you've always got about 5-10 minutes before they reset and stuff. And as soon as I said cut, quickly just took myself. There's about 300 people on set, by the way. Took myself to the side and found a nice bin and was unwell into this bin. Found a bit of blue roll. Just dabbed myself down. They said red light, which means you're about to start filming. I've gone back round. Did it again. Double pirouette. Not good when you're feeling a bit nauseous. Did it all. Blah 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 blah. Cut. Reset. Back again. And I did this 3 times. One person on the second time saw me, who was one of the runners, and she went, "Do you want some water?" I went, "Yes, please." Got my little bit of blue roll. Told one of my friends. So he then watched me after the second one, and watched me walk off. I came back, made a little joke of it, had my blue roll, jabbed it here, and went again. And I think it happened about 3 times. And after that, I think we got about a 2-hour rest, and I think I slept for 2 hours, and then felt a bit better after that. But yeah, it wasn't a great day for me. But you know, the show must go on. True professionals still go on. You would never know, because I don't think they ever used that section. But you've just got to keep being professional and doing what you can do, even if you're not very well.
Mm.
Yeah. So red light, little dab. Yeah.
So I think that kind of leads into the next question. What is the most embarrassing thing to happen to you while on stage?
Well, it's not that. So, because it wasn't on stage. So, this was an easy one, because it happened to me twice. One was more embarrassing than the other. In Shrek, in the finale, everyone goes, I got rain, and then on the last one, I do a round off back somersault, and no one else is moving, just me flying across the stage, so everyone is watching. The dragon and the donkey run on. I point to them, and then I saw her face straight in. Yeah, over the audience were going. Like sometimes we used to in Shrek, which is weird. We used to get the audience on their feet, and it was like the energy was crazy. So that goes through you as a performer. That really gets you through sometimes. And we're going around. I'm like, yeah, I'm buzzing. My back tuck was so high that when I extended my legs out, my heels hit the floor. Instead of me landing here, they hit here, which projected me straight backwards. And that is towards the audience and the pit. I slid stylishly on my bum with my legs out in pike, hit the front of the stage, which there is quite a severe drop to the pit. I pointed, literally sitting on the floor. I still pointed. Richard Blackwood's looking at me like, "Can I say something?" And then I was like, "I'm okay." Got up, kept doing it, just mortified, really embarrassed. But I styled it out. It looked quite smooth because I slid very smoothly. So that was okay. But when it happened again, I didn't quite hit both heels and bounce smoothly inside. I hit one heel, which then made me do this. I slammed my wrist on the floor. I hit my bum, and the audience is packed and buzzing that I instantly was so embarrassed and ashamed and in pain that I ran off. I didn't even point. I just got up, ran off. Because my instant thing is, oh my God, I've broken something. You know, I broke my wrist. And I didn't come back on. Because there's like a minute left of the routine of the whole show. I was there crying. Because I thought I was in shock. You know, when you're in shock and you get scared, you like get a bit emotional. And I was like, actually, no, take time. I'm okay. Just go, calm down, take your wig off, and go home. That was quite embarrassing. I'd say that was probably my most embarrassing moment. That one, just because of the way I reacted. Yeah. I mean, everyone messes up and everyone forgets sometimes, and you have little brain farts. But that wasn't a brain fart. That was just I fell over out of my back somersault and almost hurt myself and ran off the stage. So embarrassed. Yeah.
I can imagine how embarrassing that must have been.
Yeah, it was.
So the next question is, what made you want to get into musical theatre?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, but long story short, I didn't get signed by a football club. I started, so I used to act, which sounds really strange out of context, but I used to act as a kid in my local youth theatre. Then I got into dancing because I was just interested in a bit of dancing. And then I started ballet because someone said it would be good for my football, good for my footwork. And I played for my county, so it was semi-pro sort of level. Didn't get signed by a club. So by that point, I was like 16. I'd already started singing lessons the year before because male voices start to break around that age. So I was like, didn't want to stop too soon. And wasn't that interested. And just loved being on stage. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this is what I should do. So I started from the age of 15 to 16. I started to really focus on it. Still with the dream that I'd get signed by a football club, and I didn't. And then went, okay, well, maybe I'll pursue this career. And then I did. The more and more I did, the more and more I wanted to do. And I sort of just found what I needed to do and where I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. So yeah, in a roundabout way, football, which is weird. So, but I'm a big West Ham fan. So, come on, you Irons. So football's always been a big part of my life, but I never would, in a million years, would have thought it would get me into musical theatre. You know, the dream that never happened created another. So, yeah.
So the final question is, how do you feel now that Boris has finally mentioned theatres and that they can reopen in May?
Yeah, I mean, great. It's like it's been a very difficult time for a lot of my friends. My wife as well. She's in theatre, and it's been a struggle for a lot of people. So to have that glimmer of hope and that little beacon of light, it is a great thing to have. I mean, a lot of people in musical theatre. We are obviously in theatre in general are very switched on. You know, we don't get carried away. We're like, you know, believe it when we see it, kind of thing. But hope is what people need sometimes to keep chasing the dream. You know, and the fact that there's that glimmer of hope in May is great. You know, that June the 21st, I believe it when I see it. But there's a glimmer of hope there. As long as people keep respecting the guidelines, keep doing what they can do to help others. That's the main thing, you know.
Yeah.
And make sacrifices at the moment, because if you do it now, the less it's going, the least amount of time it's going to be. People don't see that. They're like, no, I'm going to do it now anyway. And you're like, please stop doing it now. That I'll start that next week. It's like, no, start it this week, because then it would delay it. Otherwise, it's just going to delay the world returning. So I just hope people just stay safe and look after each other. Even more so now, be more careful so we can go back to theatre. Like theatres can go reopen safely. It's so strange. Before this lockdown, me and my wife had a few nights away in London, and we managed to see the Palladium Panto. And we were supposed to go see Les Mis, but because they cut the amount of people could have in the theatre, our tickets got refunded. So we bought some tickets to go see what did we see? A Christmas Carol at the Dominion. And we booked tickets for the Tuesday. So we went to go on the Sunday. We went to see the Palladium Panto. Then we spent the night Sunday night in London. We spent the day in London on Monday, and then on a Tuesday, it happened to be on the Monday. We got the announcement that the last day of shows would be that Tuesday. So we got to see the second and the last night of A Christmas Carol, and it was just a magical moment that the theatre was open and there. And what was strange, it was the safest place I felt in London, and it was the most, which was bizarre. I wouldn't go to Top Man, like on Oxford Street, because I didn't feel safe. But going into a theatre, I felt completely safe. You know, you could go into a shop not get your temperature scanned. There's not hand sanitizer everywhere. You could touch all these clothes and stuff like that and walk out. Whereas in a theatre, you have to have your temperature checked. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. You know, there's not things you can touch other than your seat.
Yeah.
You know, so it was the safest place I felt I was, and they closed those but not shops. It baffled me. But to have this glimmer of hope that we can open again in May, or theatre can open again in May, is a great thing, and hopefully people respect the process and respect the journey. That it will take some time to go back to how we knew it, how we love it to be. But yeah, it'd be nice to see my friends smiling again, you know, rather than having like Zoom quizzes with me on a Thursday or something like that, you know, going to the theatre to watch them perform and stuff like that, which is it's an exciting thing to see, but at the same time, I will believe it when I see it, and just trying to keep everyone positive and going and happy, and it will come back. It'll be back stronger, in the words of Peter Crouch. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it, but I just hope everyone respects the process and respects the performers as well.
Yeah. So we've just got a quick fire round.
Cool. Okay.
So, favorite musical?
Footloose.
Plays or musicals?
Ooh, plays. Now, only because I want to be in plays now.
West End or Broadway?
Broadway.
Favorite theatre you have performed in?
Played it. No, Drury Lane.
And the last one that caused a debate, is cereal soup?
Is cereal soup?
Yes.
As in breakfast cereal, is it soup?
Yeah.
No.
That's exactly what my answer is.
Who are these people?
Honestly, that caused the debate for so long.
No.
Oh god, it's horrendous.
Silly people.
So that comes to the end.
Fantastic.
So there you go, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all soon for another video.
Cheers, guys.